Welcome back to Grit Gym. Today we're talking supplementation, if it's necessary. Do you need to even take anything? Should you be taking everything underneath the sun? Well, we're going to explore that. I'm Adam Reese. This is Tori Owens. What do you think about supplements?
I think some of them are really good for you and some of them are crap.
There you have it.
Yep.
The scientific reasoning. They're crap. Don't take them. Okay, so you're a nerd. All right, so just going to like the two errors that we see are people either taking everything underneath the sun. It's just like, well, at some point,
Why?
Yeah, why? You're spending a lot of money. It's probably really expensive urine, and at some point, taking so much stuff could be detrimental to your health. So that's the thing there. And then the other error is being completely opposed to ever taking anything, no matter what. Because really, these are an opportunity. Like, you're an adult. You decide for you. Like, I don't care. If you want to take nothing, take nothing. If you want to take everything under the sun, hey, it's your go. It's your life. I'm about as live and let live as it gets. But they are an opportunity, and our food is not going to suffice all the nutrients that would lead to, the most healthy, high quality lifestyle that we possibly can. So we're going to go into a little bit of, just some general, what might be of benefit to you. So thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you said it well. Taking it underneath this, everything underneath the sun is going to be air. Well, one, because you have like two different types of vitamins. You have water soluble and you have fat soluble.
True.
All the fat soluble vitamins, it's going to be really easy to hit those upper limits when you start getting. Yeah. I think some of them cause like hair loss, diarrhea, and just like a lot of bad stuff.
Like the cracks in that's like a vitamin K thing, I'm pretty sure. Deficiencies aren't good. Obviously, you don't want those.
Right. So there's both. But if you eat like a really good diet and you're getting your fruits and vegetables in, then you're going to be pretty well off.
Yeah.
But there are some things that we just tend to naturally not get in our diet. Yeah.
One of those might be fish oil. We currently are in Iowa. We are landlocked. There is no way that we are getting wild-caught, freshwater or wild cold water fish caught and delivered to us immediately, so that we can get the good fatty acids that are coming from those that they got from eating the blue-green algae in the ocean. For the most part, we're buying farm-raised fish that were fed other bits and pieces of other farm-raised fish. So there's
gross.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah.
Well,
nasty.
I don't really eat fish anyway, so.
Oh.
I know. I just don't like it.
Hey, if you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so taking a fish oil is probably a really good idea. So getting into the hierarchy of what we'd say, like, where do you start? Say fish oil is the first place to start. Why would you put fish oil at the top of your list? Or do you?
Oh, I certainly do, Adam. Fish oil is full of omega-3s, and those are anti-inflammatory. So if you think of like arthritis, heart troubles, basically any troubles, some of it has to do with inflammation. So, and then inflammation, you have omega-6s, and we get a lot of omega-6s in our diets. I think they're in like olive oil.
They're basically everything.
A lot of stuff. So we tend to naturally get all of those, but not omega-3s.
Yeah, there's the number keeps rising. The more studies that are done on, especially Western style diet consumption of, like, our fats are coming from, like, it should be basically a good fat to bad fat ratio, to be like really simple about it. Should be about a 1-to-1, but most people are sitting about a 1 to 18, and the people with really bad diets are like 1 to 64, 1 to 118. It's very heavy. Drastic difference between the two, and it's amazing how far the supplement really goes. Like, there's even been studies out there that try to disprove. They walk into the study trying to disprove fish oil and end up proving it that it works. It's wild. From cognitive function, mental acuity, mood, it's an anti-anxiety, it's an anti-depression. It helps your joints, it helps your heart, helps you with your cholesterol, helps you with your blood pressure.
Helps with fat loss.
It helps with your skin. If you constantly need to put on lotion, you probably need to probably want to have a fish oil. It helps with your eyesight. It helps, like, it is so far reaching that it's just insane. And it's really inexpensive.
Right, it's not that bad. And if you eat, then it decreases the fish burps, okay? So you take the oil or the pill and then eat. You'll be fine.
Yeah, and if you're wondering what brand to go to, do not go to a Costco brand. Do not try to skimp a little bit of money. A few years ago, actually, Costco got into a little bit of hot water for this. So this group tested, I don't know how many different fish oil supplements, but Costco got found less than 20% of their fish oil supplement was actually fish oil. The rest was just filler. We use Carlson or Thorne out here. They're both two very reputable supplement companies, but Carlson's was over 80% fish oil. So even though Carlson's was Costco was half the price of Carlson's, you were getting 4 times as much, over 4 times as much.
Right, and who's to say what was in the other 80%?
Yeah, I don't want to have that. Yeah, and then the other thing about fish oils that you really want to look for is freshness. So don't go buying them on Amazon where you don't know how old that supplement happens to be, because where you really run into issues with oils is when they're rancid.
Ew.
I know. That's where it really messes with the mental disorders that come by whey. But so just make sure you're getting it fresh.
Correct.
All right,
It does go bad. Or like the tablets, I think, last a lot longer.
Yeah.
But the liquid does go bad. So.
Yes, and it oxidizes and everything. So I think we beat fish oil to death, though. Take your fish oil. Definitely get on fish oil. What would be your other part of that top tier of the...
Vitamin D.
Why?
Because it helps with bone health. And then me being a female, I'm already at a higher risk for osteoporosis. Right. So anything I can do to help with that. And then I try to get out in the sun, but it doesn't always happen. And so vitamin D is just an easy, inexpensive thing. Yeah, most of us are just stuck inside for the majority of the day. We're not outside often enough to get the catalyst from the sun to cause our bodies to pull more vitamin D out of our food. So we're just not going to get a ton of it, and it's just a good idea to supplement. Plus, vitamin D is extremely inexpensive. By the time you bought the test to get tested, if you're vitamin D deficient, which is only going to maybe show for like 2 weeks, then where was I? Oh, you could have bought probably 2 or 3 years worth of vitamin D for that test. So just buy the vitamin D. It's not 1,000 to 2,000 IU a day. It's going to do a world of good for a lot of people. Right. And that thing that we were just talking about, bone density, vitamin D actually has much more to do with laying down new bone tissue and keeping bone tissue than calcium does. So you can be popping calcium pills all day long, and it's doing nothing for your bone health. Vitamin D and magnesium have much, much, much more to do with healthy bones than calcium does. Just to put it in perspective. Perspective is almost what I said, but all right. All right, next hierarchy, I'm going to go with multivitamin and a probiotic. Yeah? No? That's neat. Yeah, sure. What do you think? Because a multivitamin is just like an insurance policy. You take it and hopefully you never have to use it. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Almost all of us are deficient in something, right? Right. So might as well just take a multivitamin. Sure. Just makes good sense. And then probiotic, that one is the good bacteria in a gut. I'm sure we all have experienced those days where our gut is not happy and it sucks. But also the days where you're just kind of fuzzy-headed. Those days are probably because something weird is going on in your gut. Your gut has its own nervous system. It's called your enteric nervous system. It's the only unit of the body that has its own nervous system. It's also the oldest part of you. So you had a gut long before you had a brain, long before you had arms. You know, back in the day, we were all just a bunch of tubes floating around in the bottom of the ocean, right? And then we developed arms and legs and a head to pull more food into the tube. So take care of that tube, as gross as that sounds. But anyway, so number 3, we're going down to creatine and CoQ10. We'll speed this up a little bit. Creatine got a bad reputation in the 90s because people were taking like, they were taking like 80 grams a day. And you really only need 5. It's absurd that people were taking so much. So there's that. And it was giving them all kinds of issues. CoQ10, really good for your skin, your brain, your cardio, like your cardiac, your joints. It's already in your body. It's an anti-aging thing. It's like, do your own research on CoQ10 and you'll be like, holy crap, did I just walk down a weird rabbit hole? But it's amazing. And then the number 4 would be greens. What do you like about greens? They're delicious. Ooh. Well, you can add them to simple things, and it just helps with adding an extra serving of your fruits and vegetables. Well, what are greens? Because a lot of times when I talk about greens, people think I'm talking about green tea. No. Okay, cool. Greens. Let's see. Antioxidant power of concentrated organic green fiber. Oh, oops, I skipped a word. Organic green fruits, foods, berries, and fiber. Oh, they're fiber. Yeah.
So anyway, what did they do? They freeze dry all these fruits and vegetables into a powdered form so that you're getting more of the bioavailability of the food. And in our world today, like for instance, spinach has about 40% less nutrients than it would have 60 years ago. So there's a way to get a little bit extra in your diet. And then the last one being zinc and magnesium. This is the last of like the general hierarchy where they're going to basically help everybody. Zinc, magnesium, what do we know about those?
They help with sleep, and zinc does everything you think vitamin C does. So if you're getting sick, don't do vitamin C, do zinc.
Yeah, zinc is an antimicrobial, it's an immune booster. That's a really good way of saying it. Everything that you've been bombarded with about vitamin C helping you with, that's what zinc does. Vitamin C only helps when you're deficient.
It's an antioxidant, so it's going to be helpful for recovery for like injuries and stuff like that, but not so much when you're sick. Bummer, right?
All right, and then also they're very soothing. They don't put you to sleep, but they do help you soothe out and get to sleep. Now beyond this, there are specifications that we're not going to get into that some people will benefit more from than others. It's a very general list. We do need to speed this up. That's my fault. But whey protein, is it absolutely necessary? Or should it be dependent on the person?
Should be dependent on the person, what you're trying to do. If you're trying to bulk up and get weight. Well, if you're trying to get muscles on your muscles, then whey protein, then yes, because it adds a little bit extra calories, extra protein to build that muscle. But if you're looking more for fat loss, then you can do like a BCA that has 0 calories, and that is still going to help with recovery.
BCAAs are just the building blocks of protein, but it doesn't have any calories in it, whereas whey protein has a lot of calories, so that it's going to help you get that schneck where you don't really look like you have a shoulder or a neck. You're just like, muscled up top,
Like me.
But yeah, it's dependent on the person, and a lot of the time you're basically you're drinking a
candy bar.
A candy bar, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, there's 2 errors when it comes to supplements: refusing to take anything, and that's up to you, or taking everything under the sun. Both are usually fairly unnecessary, and there are times where you would take more or less depending on you. But that hierarchy list would generally work for most people, well over 80% of people.
Yes, and just make sure that you do your research on your brands.
100%.
Don't just go like, oh, Hy-Vee has this one, I'll take that one, it has to be good for me.
And we picked these 2, Thorne and Carlson's, as ours. I did a ton of research on this. I even did experiments in the house where I put the multivitamin in the oven just to see what would boil out, stupid stuff like that. Anyway, we did a lot of research on this. These are 2 very good companies. Hope you guys got a lot out of this. This is the video on supplements.
Adios.